He holds a bachelor's degree. He pursues a PhD. When I was just checking his profile in his LinkedIn, I just got a fact that when he was completing his graduation, I was born. You see, like I'm somewhere 30 plus now. So Sir has over 34 years of distinguished service in Indian Air Force, and currently Sir is the Board of Advisor member for CyberAI Commune. Just like we have Cyber T20 from Kriyavan, CyberAI Commune is another group who's just spreading awareness of cybersecurity with respect to the current AI trends. And you can see SaaS profile, it's shared in your meeting links and other things. And SAR is a part of CyberAI Commune. And we have seen like SAR have given quite a good number of sessions, awarenesses for individuals, governments, schools, college students. I see him inspiring. Like I remember maybe a decade ago, 10 years ago, we met at Amrita when there was a blockchain workshop, and we became so close, like friends. And at the end of the day, right? So just this one screenshot is enough to give an intro for Sir. He was the Director of Information Security at Indian Air Force over 35 years, right? So with this short intro, I just leave the ground to Sir to start with the session. Welcome you, Sir. Welcome you on behalf of whole of the Cyber T20 and participants team.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. Just allow me to share my screen. Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Ashok, for a nice introduction. We share the name, but I'm not as qualified as you are. So taking a cue from you, I got admission in PhD, and I'm pursuing my research in insider threat prediction, right? So just to give you a background how I got this problem as a problem statement to work upon, because we were working on a disconnected environment, rather air-gapped environment. Our critical infrastructure is not connected with the internet. I'll start the alarms so that I keep the timer on. So we took on this problem because despite having no internet connection with our network, we found malware in our network of critical infrastructure. So that was a cause to worry. That's why we worked upon this, and we found that it was few careless users who used mobile devices or pen drives or things like that very carelessly on critical infrastructure, right? So that's where the thought came that we must work upon this problem, because this is quite. And then we studied a few case studies that gives us an indication. And while doing the literature review, we found that it remains the unsolved problem of cybersecurity. Imagine, insider threat remains the unsolved problem of cybersecurity. So that was the motivation of doing it. Now, moving on, just a second. If you look at this image, a case took place in Iraq War. This person called Elizabeth Manning, Chelsea Elizabeth Manning, earlier Edward Manning, he passed out a lot of secrets to media, critical information to media. Larkin's brother, it's an old case of 1983, they passed on very sensitive information to enemy. And Edward Snowden's case, he was working for National Security Agency US, and he leaked out so much of information. He kept storing, and suddenly he gave a lot of information outside to the media. It was very sensitive in nature. Taking cue from this, few proverbs have been made, like Vibhishan, they say it was insider threat for Ravana, Ghar ka bhedi Lanka dhai. And but for this Mir Jafar, the East India Company could not have ruled this great country for so long. Just take a cue. this is an ideal case study to start with. Tim Lloyd and Omega, wherein a disgruntled employee, he implanted a time bomb kind of software, which brought down the company, which was a world leader in watchmaking, Omega, to the brink of bankruptcy. It's a case study worth reading. And another case study which must read. You'll find a lot of YouTube resources on Stuxnet. Stuxnet is a malware which was created to bring down the Iran nuclear reactor. You must read this, and it is a case study wherein you can make out how a critical infrastructure with the careless users or insider can be brought down. So to start our this evening, this talk, what is an insider threat? An insider threat is a potential risk posed by individuals who have authorized access. They have legitimate access to the network. They are the users. And if a system administrator, if a person who has got ultimate rights in a system, if he turns rogue, then God save you. Most of the time, it is the person's, carelessness, person using our company laptop on internet as well as on a corporate network, that becomes a threat. These threats can lead to data breaches, financial losses, and reputational damage and legal consequences. What are the roots? There's an old saying in security that there is no patch for human stupidity. So these are the human traits which leads to the insider threat. Greed for money. Somebody asks you, I'll pay you this much, you get me some data from inside. If an employee doesn't get a promotion, if he is disgruntled, he can do anything. And somebody at times, wants to take a revenge from his seniors, or ignorance. There are the few reasons wherein people can bring down a running system carelessly or knowingly. What can this insider threat lead to? The financial loss, number one. If you have intellectual property, your patents, these data can be leaked out, can lead to a lot of compliance and legal issues. And last but not the least, it's a damage to your reputation that your data was compromised. Imagine company like an organization like Iran Nuclear Agency, their nuclear program could be brought down just by putting a pen drive and a malware called Stuxnet. There is a beautiful movie called 0 Days documentary. It's available on YouTube, and you can find it out. To insider threat have not been very, very successful. Like, you have access controls, you have network monitoring, you have log analysis, you do auditing. They are basically reactive in nature. The traditional methods, the breaches will take place, but it is not necessary that you, and insider threat, the biggest thing about insider threat is person is sitting inside, he's legitimate user, he's pilfering data, and by the time you get to know that this has happened, the minimum dwell time of an insider threat is 100+ days as on today. As per the latest report, you can make out that within 100 days that data breach has taken place by an insider. So what is the way out? Why they are limited in nature is because they are rule based, they have limited scope, there are a lot of false positives, and they are reactive in nature. Once the breaches have taken place, you can only react. There is nothing called you can prevent, right? So now Going from reactive to preventive, the great work is being done by artificial intelligence in mitigating this side. It plays a critical role in bolstering insider threat. AI techniques enable organizations to analyze vast amount of data, identify patterns, and predict potential insider threat with greater accuracy and speed. AI-powered systems can continuously monitor user behavior, detect anomalies, and generate alerts to security teams, allowing to proactive threat mitigation. So now, what we are doing in machine learning for insider threat prediction is there are three methods primarily. Supervised learning, wherein supervised learning models are trained on labeled data sets. The goal is to predict the likelihood of an insider attack based on past instances. So the limitation of supervised learning is if the novel insider attack comes up, it will not be able to detect. It will be like antivirus detecting viruses for which the signatures are available, right? In case the signatures are not available, antivirus will not be able to detect a particular malware. Similar thing happens in case of supervised learning. Unsupervised learning models identify patterns and anomalies in user behavior without relying on labeled data. They don't bother about whether the data set is labeled or not. They can detect suspicious activity based on deviations from novel behavior, right? A person is supposed to be logging in from 9 to 5, and suppose he is doing remote login late night, then it is an anomaly. It can be flagged as an insider threat. Or so in such cases, a lot of false positives are also generated. Now we boil down to anomaly detection. These techniques are designed to identify unusual or unexpected behavior that could indicate an insider threat. They can be used to detect unusual access patterns, data transfer, somebody putting pen drives from a remote location, or trying to pilfer data and mass copying the data, taking large number of printouts, and so on and so on. Right. They are trying to do system modification. Person who is supposed to use only the MS Office or PDF, he started using suddenly, command line prompt. So that becomes a anomaly for a normal user. Supervised learning models. These models, classification models, they identify patterns in past data to predict future inside threats. They learn from labeled data sets, as I said. Regression models, they predict the likelihood of an insider threat occurring based on user characteristics and behaviors. Similar case goes with the decision trees and neural networks. They are advancement from the previous methods to the others. The four methods we use in supervised learning, that is classification model, regression model, decision trees, and neural networks. Coming on to unsupervised learning models, wherein we don't have the labeled data set. How do we train the system? Is clustering algorithms with group similar data points together. They can detect anomalies or identify user with unusual behaviors. Association rule learning, you make certain rules and which uncovers relationship between data points. It can uncover patterns in user activities that might indicate a threat. So, as I said, somebody is supposed to be using only MS Office, that to Word, PowerPoint, or PDF, and suddenly starts using C compiler on your or Python interpreter on your in his system. That becomes a different deviation from the rules. So how anomaly detection techniques work? They see the outlier, right? their statistical model. All these, whatever we are doing in machine learning and artificial intelligence, the basis of this is data science. As we learned that if you take artificial intelligence as an engine, fuel for that engine is the data. That's why everybody in the world is after getting data. Let it be Twitter, let it be Facebook, they want data. Google, they have the largest data set and they are training the system. Look at the large language models, how they have advanced within no times. So they take the data, they refine it, and they keep training their system. So that's what we are doing in so the bottom line of artificial intelligence is the data science. Anomaly detection technique, it identifies outliers. You will see a certain patterns. In case it falls outline this bell curve, that is to be flagged immediately that this is not a correct behavior. Now, coming on to the important part is the behavioral analysis and modeling. This becomes very, very important because human insider threat, the human angle is deeply involved. And just missed out in the beginning, most of the technology is focused on mitigating the attack which is taking from outside. We are trying to mitigate the attack from hackers. He has to breach your firewall, he has to find out the weakness in your system, and then he'll have to find out some compromised logins. So the task for a hacker from outside is much, much more difficult compared to a person who is sitting inside and having user access. Only thing this person need to do is he has to escalate his privileges and carry out an attack, right? So in order to ensure that you are able to do the correct modeling, you do the behavioral analysis. So it's not only the technical controls, it is your behavioral pattern which can help you in finding out whether a person is a legitimate user or he's trying to create some anomalies. So what do you do here? You study the AI models can learn normal patterns of user behavior. They analyze user actions, network activities, and system interactions. Deviations are detected in behavior. Any significant deviation from established baseline triggers an alert. This helps to identify potential insider threats. Contextual understanding. Model consider factors like time of the day, location. Suddenly you find you have limited, all your employees are within India, and somebody from geolocation of US or some other countries outside your boundaries is trying to log in. It sends an alert, though with the help of masking their IP using VPN, they can do that, but it can be unmasked and it can find out that this is not in context. Predictive capabilities. AI models can predict future behavior, potentially identifying threat before they materialize. By continuously, there are OCEAN, Ocean Principle, which study the temperament data of a person, emotions, and on that basis, it can predict all user entity and behavioral model. They do that. So what they do is they study the baseline behavior. UEB analyzes user entity behavior to establish a baseline of normal activity. For each and every person, what is it's going to be the normal activity. And the person deviates from its normal activity, it certainly, detects it as anomaly. UEBA considers factors like user roles, location. If you are a normal user and you are trying to escalate your, privileges to a system administrator, suddenly it becomes a, anomaly, right? Risk scoring. Person who is habitual when we carry out an exercise in our industry, he is habitual in getting lured by links, and unnecessarily he clicks the links to get some Amazon gift voucher of 10,000 rupees, right? People carry out different kind of exercise, and the people who get caught, their risk scores increases, and people system remembers that he's an habitual offender and he is to be trained and he is to be punished or whatever system you have to guard against that. Natural language processing for threat detection. If you hexstrike.ai, this is a wonderful tool which is emerging, and it has started using, by the time I prepared this presentation, I could not include hexstrike.ai. You can note down and see the video. It's available on GitHub. You can build your own environment and see. Just by typing, when you want to carry out a vulnerability assessment, you type a tool, you open command line prompt. No, it is like ChatGPT. You write in a normal English language, I want to carry out a scan of so-and-so network, starting IP addresses this, domain this and that, and you carry out. So it will pick and choose the tools, and it will start carrying out the assessment. This tool, before defenders could master it, attackers have mastered it, and now they are using it for attacks, right? So natural language processing, while we are talking that it can be used for threat detection, attackers have already started using it for attacking the systems. How it does is, for detection, it analyzes the communication patterns, sentiment analysis, and keyword extractions. NLP can identify keywords and phrases related to insider threat like sensitive data, unauthorized access, or confidential information, and it can flag it to the system administrator. Now, coming on to the what are the merits of AI-based insider threat prediction? Systems significantly improve detection, accuracy, and speed. They enable organization to proactively identify potential threats, mitigating financial and reputational damage. AI models can analyze massive amounts of data, uncovering subtle patterns missed by human analysts. Human analysts will have, some restriction. They can miss out the finer details, but if you train an AI model, it does certain things. It's like a domain expert. It becomes that if you train it to catch a particular thing only, it will continue to do that. It may not be as intelligent as human, but it will do a certain task more efficiently because it doesn't get tired. Right? These systems provide real-time threat alerts, allowing for swift response and incident mitigation, which doesn't happen in human mitigation. Everything comes with a, every advantage comes with a limitation and certain demerits. If you don't have good quality of data, that's why I said, everybody here today wants more and more data. Better you train your system, better fuel you have to your engine, it will run more efficiently. Model interpretability. Understanding how AI models arrive at their prediction is crucial. Most of the models which we are seeing today, they're like black box. We don't know what is there inside. Somebody has made it. I write my own program. After a month, I will not be able to decipher myself, or I'll say what I could have written better. Right. So these are the programs which are written by somebody, models specifically in artificial intelligence. We do not know what are the weaknesses inside that black box. So that is a big challenge. Privacy concerns. AI techniques for insider threat prediction often requires access to sensitive user data, raising concerns over privacy and ethical implications. People might say, why I am, seeing your social media behavior, and people who are in sensitive duties, sensitive organization, they will be giving a non-disclosure NDA signing with the company, like we signed with the Indian Air Force, that we will not be on social media. And I was not on any Facebook or any social media other than WhatsApp, because this is the biggest area of leaking out of the information. And beauty of any system is in how well it is behaving, how well it is trained. So be ready for a lot of false positive and false negatives. I would end my talk with this. Most of the breaches are from within. किले के दरवाजे जो हैं वो अंदर से ही खुलते हैं. It's an old saying. Thank you very much, Anna, for allowing me to take on this subject with this August audience. I'll be more than happy to you can reach out to me through LinkedIn or connect me on this through this barcode. It's pure, it's LinkedIn barcode. There is no script written inside. So I have finished, and I'll be more than happy to take on the question answer.
Yes, sir. Fine. So thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Maybe you covered the whole of your Air Force experiences and all about AI, machine learning. Most of the students here are from cybersecurity. They do computer science, they do AI, they do data science and on. So participants, if you have any questions, queries, you can raise your hand. Also, you can put it in the QA column. That will be something like Q&A at the top. You can type it. You can type your question there, so that we'll be happy to answer.
I could finish in 24 minutes, Anna.
Fine. So being on time is always expected from defense people.
Right. That goes into your muscle memory. Yeah.
So again, like maybe when participants are typing the questions, I used to get quite a lot of questions from my students and peers asking about cyber-related openings in defense in India. If you can address something on that.
Unfortunately, we are not outsourcing cyber or any this thing. You join Air Force, and once you join, and if you have the capabilities and the skill set available with you, then you are employed in offensive and defensive role of cyber.
Got it, sir. Fine, sir. Good to hear.
So these are the opportunities to get into the cyber of armed forces. First, you need to join, work in different domains. We have, if you join army, you have to work on infantry, you have to work with your parent branch, and then you can get into cyber role. Same goes in Navy, same goes in Air Force. And there are lateral absorption in other government organizations like DRDO and NTRO. They take on people from forces on deputation, and if they prove themselves there, they are permanently absorbed. So that's how you can get into there. I think that answers your question.
Yeah, got it, sir. It's clear.
We are not outsourcing our cyber defense or cyber offense to outside agencies.
Obviously, it's a part of national security, right?
Yeah, very much.
So again, another one, maybe I got some, when asking about you, I got some offline questions individually from my students. So there was another question. So they were asking about maybe anything like a challenging insider threat, or like you were mentioning about the conflicker, you're mentioning about that Stuxnet, right? So anything in your experience have you faced like a real malware virus that's challenging to remove, and it took like 1 year, 2 years, something like that to remove? Some bits and pieces of any challenging,
number of stories. We can write a book, but
we have another 5 more minutes there. So if we can share anything on that, students will be interested of.
Yeah. Okay. There was a malware called Rontok Bro. Rontok Bro was it's a beautifully written Chinese software. We go little back in 2008 and 9, wherein we started getting a 1 GB pen drive used to be a luxury, right? You used to get 1 GB pen drive in let's say 800 rupees or something. 1 GB, right? Today we are talking less than not less than 500 GB or something like that. 1 GB pen drive in 800 rupees. Suddenly there was a flood of 64 GB pen drives. So people got it. Boss, I got $400, 64 GB pen drive, and somebody took away your money. You got only 1 GB. So what they did was they bugged the pen drive's BIOS, and they fooled it to show it in my computer as a 64 GB. And in the BIOS of a pen drive, they put a malware called Rontok Pro. So it used to easily seek into unpatched Windows, move in there, sit there, and suddenly start. It was a worm. It will travel on the network and move on motherlessly. You will not find out. Any amount of forensics will not be able to find out which was the origin and how it reached my system. It will travel on the network and it will continue to sit there. And unfortunately or fortunately, it was not a harmful. What it was doing is it had a very good compression algorithm, which will compress your critical data, keep sitting, and moment it finds somebody is connected to the internet, it will start dumping the data from the back door. So that was the behavior of this malware. So we took tough time in removing. We isolated those systems and literally took up the data backup and formatted the system. That was the Herculean task. So this was the biggest challenge which I can remember. There are many stories, but since this is available in open domain also, I can share with you.
Yes, sir. Good to hear. Yeah, I do remember maybe when I was there at the university, we were dealing with some of the security projects where this pen drive, like as you rightly said, the pen drive looks like 8 GB, but it's have only a 2 GB partition. People will be using it for 2 GB for that.
Only Linux could make out that it is actually a 1 GB or lesser memory, lesser size pen drive. Windows, it will show 64 GB. So
yeah, I remember maybe on hearing your use case, I remember the forensic classes which I handled. The classes for digital forensic, we had a specific class on file system forensics by author the Brian Carrier book. That clearly explains whatever you said, the host protected area, DCO, how to check the partition, DD commands, and on.
Very true.
Fine, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for the input.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and really great interacting. You have my LinkedIn connect. In case you have any queries regarding this problem or any other thing which I can share, we'll be more than happy to. Thank you, Anna, for inviting me, and God bless you. Take care. Bye.
So thank you all. We'll see you tomorrow.